it's like they have the remote control, right? And it's like the gaming thingy controller thingy stuff, right? Okay, I don't play games. I used to, but anyway, it's like handing it over to somebody and going, okay, there, you have the controls. Control me. I'm fearing. Yeah, it's like that. It's that bad. People don't really think about it, okay? Now, what about underlying fear? We talked about that the other day. Underlying fear, right? It's like fear that exists, but your conscious mind is not aware of it. Why? Because your subconscious has learned to fear. It's your subconscious fearing. So, what's an example? Hesitation. Are you hesitating? What are you hesitating? What are you hesitating on or about? If you're hesitating, you're fearing. Okay, so all the negative vibrations are rooted in fear. All the negative emotions are rooted in fear. If you're hesitating, if you're procrastinating, if you're putting something off, right? You're putting something off. Now, why would you do this action? Because you're fearing subconsciously, down below the surface. If you're pushing things away like this, that means, no, this is, right? You're afraid. Okay, now some people can, take the position that, well, I don't like it, so I'm pushing it away. If you're pushing, it's a self-defense mechanism. You're defending yourself. If you're defending yourself, guess what? Fear. Maybe it's not the kind of fear like you fear a bully kind of fear. Maybe it's not the kind of fear that you fear a wild animal fear. Okay, but there's fear there. And you know what it's doing to your life? It's derailing your life. It's taking your life path that's like this, that's unfolding like this, and it's pushing you over here like this, like that. And as it pushes you on the side, it slows you down. This is just a visual, okay? You ever get indecisive? I'm indecisive. I had to overcome that a lot. And now I just go with it. I just make decisions and see what happens. When you're indecisive, there's a little bit of fear there. Why? Because it goes, well, let's see. I have these two choices, right? I could do this or that, this or that, this or that. And you start thinking this or that, this or that. The one that you push away is the one you're afraid of. So what does indecision do? It paralyzes you. It freezes you up, deer in the headlights, all day long. Why? Because you're afraid to move forward. Because you have these two options. But you're thinking of the outcomes already. You're thinking, well, if I do this, this is going to happen. Do this, this is going to happen. Well, I don't want that outcome over there, and I don't want this outcome over here. If you're focusing on what you don't want, you're fearing. If you're focusing on something that's not there, you're fearing. If you're imagining something fearful, okay? Remember the other day we were talking about it? It starts with a fearful thought. And that fearful thought brings the fear emotion, whatever is associated with that. Okay? And that emotion follows the thought. Now you've thought the thought, now you're feeling the emotion to the thought. And if that's a fear-based thought, you're going to feel fear. And what does fear do? Fear starts making your life path go like this. It slows down, and sometimes extreme fear will stop it. Okay, so if you are in the process of your life just kind of going on and something spooks you, oh, okay, it slows down. Why? Now you're cautious. Why are you cautious? Why are you being cautious? Why are you being hesitant? Because there's a little fear there. Oops, I don't want anything bad to happen, right? And now you're focusing on the things that could go wrong, right? Is that the thing to do? No, that's wrong. Don't focus on what could go wrong. Focus on what could go right. I could make money from this deal. I could acquire this company and make tons of profits. Or I could acquire this company and benefit tons of people. I do these things all the time. I go, what if like this happens? What if that happens? What if, but I'm thinking of the good stuff that'll happen. So what's the difference? Well, when I used to think about the bad stuff that could happen, right? Like especially in my 20s. My 20s were like this. My 20s went like that. Mostly unresolved anger from high school and elementary school. The things that made me angry that were stored up from elementary school all the way through high school came out and played out in the world in my 20s. It was very turbulent. People look at me and they go, wow, you turned out okay. Everything turned out right. Yeah, but I had to get it together. Okay? I had to get this together. It's how you think about things, it's mindset. Everything is mindset. When you change the way you think about things, everything changes. Mindset changes everything. Because there's always a good side to something. All you have to do is take the glass half empty and flip it to the glass half full. It earned me millions of dollars. In 2010, we hit the $1 million mark. I can't even tell you how shocked I was because I was under the false belief that you couldn't make money playing music. Where did I get that from? Well, in my book, The Earth-Shattering Carelessness of Authority is chapter 5. And it talks about this lady, tells a story about this lady that came to me. And this lady was like, well, my college professor, I was singing in college, and my college professor said that I should find something else to do. And it hurt her. It devastated her. So much so that she clammed up. She just closed up like this and never sang until she met me, and she was 42. And she goes, I just want to try. I just want to see if I can. Because she started doubting, right? That false belief that she had. She recognized it as a false belief. And then she's like, well, I really want to see if I can or not. And I told her, don't worry, everybody can sing. Every human being can sing. And she looked kind of shocked. She's like, yeah, really? I'm like, yeah, it's pattern recognition. Okay, recognizing patterns, melody patterns. Okay, expressing sound through your voice. Everybody does it. They talk. If you can talk, you can sing. Okay, it's just that some people are so afraid to death about bringing themselves, their self, okay, energy in here. Okay, what do you call that? Spirit, soul, self. Okay, they're afraid of bringing themselves out here in the world. And then, oh yeah, you gotta sustain yourself out here in the world in the form of a tone. Why is that so spooky? Because they're afraid of judgment. Judgment. They don't want to be judged. They don't want somebody to go, oh, dude, you suck. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of somebody looking at them going, oh man, come on, stop singing. Okay, they're afraid of that. So I showed her that she could sing. It took me 2 months. And then she had to move out of Hawaii. I'm in Hawaii. And she had to move out of Hawaii. And I said, follow up with somebody, anybody, but keep doing this. Good morning, Costas. I said, keep doing this because you can do it. It's a false belief. It's rooted in your subconscious. And it's rooted in fear. And because it came from someone in authority, someone she looked up to, right? Someone she held high regard for. Okay, so in other people's lives, it could be a military officer if you're in the military. It could be a superior if you're in the police department. It could be a fire captain if you're in the fire department. It could be a boss if you're in a corporation. And if you respect what they say, if they are in authority and you hold them in high regard, guess what? You're going to pay attention. And you're going to take what they say to heart. And that's why it's called the earth-shattering carelessness of authority. Because many people in authority are very careless. When you are in a position of authority, things get to your head. Okay, the ego starts to go like that. Then they start saying things without thinking about the ramifications of what they say. Put more simply, they don't think before they talk. I worked with tons of people like that in several toxic work environments. So I know all about that. But I didn't pay attention. When you pay attention, you are forming a transaction. That's why it's called pay attention. Because it's a transaction. It's a spiritual transaction. What are you paying attention with? You're paying attention with the energy in here. Paying attention. When you're in class and the teacher says, pay attention. What is your teacher asking you to do? They're asking you to do this. Focus. Pay attention. See? So what happens? Well, now you have an energetic transaction. Now you are paying attention because you're spending your life. You're spending that time. When you spend your time, you spend your life. Think about it. How are you spending your life? Are you spending your life enjoying yourself? Are you spending your life in love? Or the emotions that are based in love, the high frequencies? Or are you living in low frequencies, in frequencies based in fear, in emotions based in fear? All the negative emotions are based in fear. All of them. It starts with worry. Then it goes down, irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame, fear at the very bottom. At the very top, it's love. So are you loving people? Or, we could say the top group is love, peace, gratitude, joy, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, hope, and satisfaction at the very bottom of the top. But all of those belong to love. Are you doing those things? Or are you fearing? This is why Jesus Christ said, O ye of little faith. Right? Because when you're fearing, or when you're in fear, or when you're a part of those emotions that constitute fear as the root, as the base, you're placing your faith in fear. Or the opposition. The opposition of what? The opposition of love. The opposition of good. The opposition of positive. So what's the opposer? Well, evil, dark. If you're religious, Satan. Or Hasatan. There's many terms. Or dark. So you have dark, you have light. You have the yin and the yang. You have positive, negative. If you're fearing, what you're saying is, I have faith in the negative. This is what I'm worshiping. This is what I have faith in. And that's why Jesus spoke about faith a lot. Because fear is the opposite of faith. Fear is the opposite of believing. Or believing in good stuff. Fear is believing in the bad stuff all day long. All day long. You can't have faith and fear at the same time. It's impossible. Impossible. 1 John 4:18. O ye of little faith. Jesus also said, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move the mountain. You tell the mountain to move, the mountain will move. What's the esoteric meaning behind that? What's the hidden meaning behind that? Can you literally do that and make a physical mountain move? Try it. The Bible is a mystical book. It's full of mysticism. Parables qualify for mysticism. Allegories, metaphors. What he's talking about is your subconscious. If you place belief in your subconscious, in positive things, in the positive emotions, love, peace, gratitude, joy, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, hope, satisfaction, guess what happens? You start doing positive things. Your life starts becoming more positive than negative. And that 50 percentile, okay, positive here, negative here, this percentile at the 50% marker moves up 52%, 53%, sometimes 55%. Now what happens? Now you're living a positive life out of habit because it's coming from your subconscious. I know people that go to church all the time, every Sunday. They're there, they're praising God, they're lifting up their hands to the Lord, they're praising God, right? But they have no faith in themselves. They're having, they're having a get together, they're having a church picnic, they're having praise and worship teams, they're having a celebration, but inside they're afraid. Afraid of what? Well, there's the economy. There's the spouse. There's the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the whatever. The what ifs, the negative what ifs are all rooted in fear. What if this happens? What if she cheats on me? What if my wife leaves me? What if my job just decides to lay me off? What if, but in the meantime, they're going to church. Please, God, please save me from something, and have faith at the same time. You cannot. When you're still, you will look and you will see. When Jesus was talking about people that look, that don't see, that hear but don't listen, or listen that don't hear, it's because you've been conditioned. It's because your subconscious has been conditioned. It's because you're too busy. And so many people are busy without being productive. Why? Because your time is your life. How are you spending your life? Some people spend their life like this, and for some people that's good. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, what are you doing? Now, if you're, maybe looking at your church service, maybe looking at positive affirmations, maybe you're looking at, positive information, nothing's wrong with that. You're not wasting your time. But if you're fearing, if you're looking at things, oh my God, like you don't want that to happen. Look at this, oh my God. And because you're anticipating something to shock you, now you're in the fear category. And if you are fearing, you are having faith in the negative. And these are the people who are always expecting something bad to happen. And guess what? It does. It does happen. Why? Because they anticipate it. They're reaching for it. They're reaching for something to confirm in their subconscious that they were right. And your subconscious will do that. And your reticular activating system in your brainstem will do that. It will show you confirmation. Your reticular activating system will filter out all the other stuff. So when you have a pre-programmed negative subconscious, the first thing it does is it starts to show you instances of negativity. Yeah, I remember when you did that? Yeah, that was negative. Yeah, you remember that? And that was negative. Remember when Susie did that? Oh, yeah, she was negative. Ah, you remember when so-and-so? Yeah, he was negative. And what's the result of that? Judgment. You begin judging. You begin passing judgment. And that's why in the Bible it says, judge not and ye shall not be judged. Why? Because you should stay away from judgment. Because once you have judged, you place a belief in your subconscious. And if you're prejudging, if you're participating in prejudice, that means without having evidence, you're pronouncing judgment on something in advance, without having any evidence of it. You're putting that into your subconscious. And some people live like that. Why? Because the subconscious learns in repetition. Once you do it a few times, guess what? You get in the habit of doing it. If you get in the habit of doing it, what happens? You become it. You want to be wealthy? Focus on things of wealth. I can tell you one thing. Wealth does not exist in fear or fear-based emotions. Wealth does not live there. Let me say it again. Wealth does not live in the fear-based emotions. It lives over here in the love-based emotions. It lives in love. It lives in peace. It lives in gratitude. It lives in joy. It lives in passion. People that make a lot of money doing what they do are very passionate about what they do. Excitement, enthusiasm. People that make tons and tons and tons of money are very enthusiastic about what they do. Hope, satisfaction. All of those things belong to the positive emotions. Okay, over here, the negative ones start over here. Worry, irritation, it just goes down, right? But they're fear-based. You can make money with fear-based emotions for a little while until it gets taken from you. You ever see people like that? They start making money. All of a sudden, boom, one thing happens, they lose it all. What happened there? Why did that happen? It's because the root in your subconscious was rooted in fear. And the habit becomes fearful. And eventually it creates a circumstance of loss, of lack, of emptiness, of nothingness. And what happens? The money just goes down the drain. Money is an energy. In order to hold on to money, in order to accumulate large sums of money, you need to be conducive to the energy. You need to attract that. You ever see people that build a huge business and then all of a sudden the ego comes into play? And then that ego starts to turn against them. And then they lose everything. So when we talk about faith, when we talk about belief in the positive, we're talking about a positive subconscious, because your subconscious will get you in the habit of being positive. Your subconscious will give you a wealth mindset. Your subconscious reproduces what you program it to do. So, if you want it to be positive, if you want to put forth positive action that gets positive results, whether it's making money, whether it's getting love, whether it's getting a good job, a successful career, whatever it is, subconscious comes first. In scientific books, there is only the conscious and the subconscious. But in my discussions, I include the superconscious. You could put my name in a browser and you can put philosophy after that, and it will show you my philosophy on it. Because the superconscious in my world represents God, or consciousness, or the collective consciousness, or the collective. Because we all have this energy in us. We are all spiritual beings, if you want to call it a spirit energy, because you're not your body, you're not your name. This thing right here, this physical thing, these things, they are just going to be here to serve me for a while, then they will get too old to work. And when that happens, this in here, who I am, will leave the body behind. The body will be on a bed, on the ground, on a golf course, in a swimming pool. Oh, we hope that doesn't happen, but you see what I'm saying? Right? Follow me? Okay? But this energy, Einstein already told us, this energy does not extinguish. What does it do? It can only transmute, change form. Metempsychosis tells us that it's highly possible that your energy can come back in another form, because the earth is one big ecosystem. In the Emerald Tablets 5,000 years ago, it said creation is complete. Complete. What does that mean? Everything that has been invented has already been invented. You are just seeing reinventions of things. All the re's are happening. The redos, the reinventions, the recalculations. But everything is evolving. Everything is getting better. If you see it that way. Some people see it like everything is getting worse, everything is going wrong, everything is, right? Those people, they're not having a good life. How can you have a good life living like that, thinking like that, believing that? Those are the people that live in sickness. Those are the people that live with illness. Those are the people that live with negative circumstances. Those are the people that suffer needlessly. And they don't take responsibility for it. They blame that thing or this thing or that, like that, because they think that life happens to them like this. Okay? No. Life unfolds for you like this, like that. When you think life is happening to you like this, you're suffering from victim mentality. Life happens for you. God gave you a life, and that life is evolving. But it's your choice on what you want it to evolve into. And yes, you do have a life path. But what do you want to evolve this into? Suffering? Okay. Then do the things that lead to suffering. Worry, guilt, shame, fear, And then when you start acquiring the habits that fit those things, there's overeating, over drinking, over smoking, over everything, over worrying, over shame, over guilt. More than necessary is what I'm talking about. Sure, everybody feels guilty because everybody makes a bad decision. And then we feel guilty because we know we should be doing right. We know. With knowledge comes responsibility. And if you know that the kingdom is within, if you know that you have the power within, if you know that all blessings come from within, that God lives in here, then with that knowledge comes responsibility. Worry is the devil. Worry is the Hasatan, the Satan, the opposer. The opposer of what? The opposer of love and light. The opposer of Jesus Christ. The opposer of everything good, of Krishna, of Gautama Buddha, of all these people representing love. 1 Corinthians, check it out. Love is also classified as charity. Why? Because when you give of yourself, it's the highest expression of love. When you're generous, you are giving of yourself or of what is yours. You can't give what is someone else's unless you steal it. And in that case, there you go. But when you are giving of yourself, give of your time. You know what I really enjoy watching on social media is when I see people giving of their time to clean a beach. I live in Hawaii. There's a lot of beaches here. When I see people giving of their time to build a playground. We had a playground here and somebody burnt it down. And the community got together and built the playground, and people donated their time and energy. Energy, spirit. They dedicated their spirits to build back the playground. And when I saw that, it touched my heart, and I'm like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. Give of your time. When you give of your time, you give of your life. One of the principles of our business model for all of our companies, every single one of them, is to give some time. Way back when we were giving a lot of time to a lot of needy people with a lot of talent, my mom used to always tell me, you give too much, you give too much. And it's funny because I always looked at my mom and I go, you give too little. But she actually gives a lot. It's just me being cocky. But yeah, seriously, give of your time, give of your life, give of your energy, give of your input, give of your gifts, give of your talent. Make somebody smile, make somebody happy, because you affect their heart chakra. And when you do that, it goes from person to person to person. You make somebody happy, the next interaction that they have will probably be a happy one. Why? Because now they're in a good mood, they're happy. So that happy continues to the next person. They make that person happy, that next interaction for that person will be a good one because they're happy now. Okay, next one, happy. You know what happens when everyone is fearful? We just had a tsunami alert. You know, a tsunami was headed towards Hawaii. I think it was on the news, probably. You may have seen it, you may have not. People were stranded on the highways, losing their minds, screaming and yelling, panicking. Why? Because everybody was rooted in fear. It was a fearful moment, but it was a fearful moment for a lot of people all at the same time. It was pretty spooky to watch. Not because I was afraid of the tidal wave. I'm in a very high building. It was spooky because there was no plan. It was spooky because the majority of the people did not know that they had a choice, that they could have kept calm. Many of them were calm, but many of them were losing their minds. And those people that were losing their minds are the people that did not know that they could remain calm, or the people that had no control over their emotions. Or let's say it another way, those people were not emotionally intelligent. So how do you change it? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. All day long. Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Glass half empty, glass half full. There is always the glass half full, always. It can't be. Both sides cannot be empty. There is the yin and the yang. There is the good and the bad. There is the light and the darkness. That dichotomy always exists. And what you think of the most is in your subconscious. Becomes your program. Your conscious mind is just the thought processor. That's all it is. It processes the thought. Then you select the thought to engage with. Engage, join. Okay? Now you've engaged with the thought. Now what? Now you experience the emotion that comes with it. Is it a fearful thought? Okay, fearful emotion. Is it a panic thought? Is it a we're all gonna die thought? Okay, now here comes that feeling. Is it a remain calm thought? Like, okay, this is gonna be okay, just let's see how it goes kind of thought. Then that's the emotion you feel. Some people have no handle over their emotions. They've never been still. If you've never been still, you do not know. Because then that suggests you've always been busy, 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 busy. That's when your mind gets carried away. That's when your imagination gets triggered. But your imagination can work for you. Your imagination can work for you if you think the right thoughts. How do you think the right thoughts? You stop thinking the bad thoughts. You will automatically have good thoughts if you do that. How do you do that? You say stop. When you're thinking that, okay, stop. The thought comes in, stop. But you have to refocus. So when you say stop to a thought, immediately think of something else. The easiest thing is a visual. So I have my, well, I have my office on here now. Okay. But my office is my focus. My business is my focus. So when I get a thought I don't want to think, I say stop. I pick up my phone and I look and I go, yeah, okay, good. Refocus. So this could be a picture of your baby. This could be a picture of your dog. That could be a picture of someone you love. That could be a picture of a vacation you want to take. That could be a picture of a beach you want to be on, or a mountain you want to climb, or a car you want to buy, or something. Something that represents a good feeling. And when you get that negative thought, stop. Switch. Stop, pick up your phone, look. Now you're distracting yourself, but you're distracting yourself into something positive versus something negative, or joining with the negative thought. Affirmations. I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident. Thank you. Confidence is an inner relaxed feeling. Very, very inner relaxed feeling. Is it difficult to relax? No. But if your subconscious has been trained by you to be overstimulated, to be consciously active with 10,000 thoughts, 60,000 per day, and if you start leaning to the negative thoughts, what happens? Well, your subconscious learns to be negative. It learns to show you more negative thoughts. Your reticular activating system sifts out all the positivity. It filters it out. And now you just notice the negative things. You ever notice somebody like that? You go, oh, they'll point out all the negative things that happened this week, right? Oh, like watching the news, it was terrible. Stock market lost, how many points? Well, it was really bad. The traffic sucked this week. Did you see all that traffic this week? Stuff like that, okay? And they will start pointing out all the negatives. Do you know people I know a lot of people like that. They will talk about every negative thing there is, and they will point it out. Why are they pointing it out? Because the reticular activating system in their brainstem has filtered out the positive things. And now it's made the negative things more important. And this is how they think now. Can you change it? Oh, yeah. I was very negative in my 20s. The only thing that saved me was my first mentor, my mom's youngest brother, who was a Vietnam vet. He saved me from myself. That's the only person you need to be saved from is yourself. Some people are held captive. Some people marry the wrong people. Some people are in a hostage situation of sorts. But mostly, you need to save yourself from yourself. You need to save you from yourself. How do you do that? Well, you can start with one of these. And this is why they say the pen is more powerful than the sword. You're not going to use this in a battle, but you will avoid the battle if you use this to form a better subconscious. And you need to write it. You can't do one of these. You can't do this. You can't text it. You have to write it so that it goes in here. Your subconscious is not there. I'm just using that because everybody knows that, right? It's common. Everybody goes here. The prison is here. But you can change the prison. You can unlock the door and you can leave the prison. Some people feel that like there's no hope. I can't leave the prison. This is just what happens because they are unaware. And this is why I do this for free every morning. I've been doing it for months. This is my community service. I give free time to people. I give free time and free sessions to people all the time. Lots of free time. Because I've dedicated my life to this. I learned this lesson from my father. My father was a professor. And when I went to his classroom, I'm like, wow, my father's a professor, like a university professor, and he's in his class teaching special ed. But that was his community service. And I was 12 years old and I did not understand. I had no understanding in that area. And I asked my father, I said, Daddy, why are you teaching special ed? Because in my mind, at 12 years old, he should have been in a university. And without hesitation, without any hesitation, he just looked at me and he said, because they need me. And it stuck. And that's the same reason I give my clients free time, extra time, additional time, more time, free time. because they need me. A lot of them don't know that they need me. I don't tell them that they need me. What kind of person would do that? Oh, you need me. What? Get out of here. But that's why I do my community service for you for free. So you can take these notes, so you can take this information, so you can do the research and fact check me. So you can open your Bibles if you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, do what you do. If you're a Buddhist, do what Buddhists do. If you're Islamist, do what Muslims do. If you're a Taoist, do what Taoists do. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. But I am telling you that Gautama Buddha, Krishna, Jesus Christ, they all said the kingdom is in here. And the kingdom is in here because I've experimented. I've tried it. I've tested it. I've tested prayer. I prayed for some pretty wild things. And everything happened. And everything happens when you apply your subconscious to something. So your subconscious is all of your senses. The top two are visual and audio. When you apply visuals, okay, like this. I focus on this, on my office, I get more business. When I switch my screen, when I switch my lock screen to something I want, it shows up. Sometimes it's because extra money comes. Unexpected additional money comes, or additional clients, or additional whatever, right? And it comes. Sometimes it's circumstance. It's not magic. It's not voodoo. It's your subconscious. You're a human being. You're the highest form of intelligence on the planet. And most people just waste it away. They live in worry. They live in doubt. If you're living in worry and doubt, that's like holding up a force field like this, keeping all your goodness out. It's like this. You're living like this. Doubt and fear. When you remove doubt and fear, the blessings come. That's why Jesus was saying, "O ye of little faith," in 1 John 4:18. Because your power is in here. The kingdom is in here. Your gifts are in here. This is the temple, and this is the prison. It's your choice, which one you want. You want the prison? I hate the prison. I was in torment all the time. I was living in hell. My whole 20s until about 28, and then it started turning. Because then I started listening. I started listening to what my uncle was telling me. I started paying attention. And it's a transaction. You have to pay it. You have to give your time to it. That's why you pay attention. Attention is not free. It costs you your life. When you pay attention, it takes some time out of your life. So take some time out of your life. Take some time out of your life to stop. Stop and smell the roses. Stop and help an old lady, an old man, a young child, a fellow neighbor. Take time to pull over and help someone change their tire. Whatever it is. When someone's stuck in the grocery line, give them the $2. When somebody's in a Starbucks, be the bigger person and take care of their tab, just at random. Random acts of kindness will get you far in life. Kindness, generosity, love, patience. forgiveness. First, you forgive this one. You forgive this one first. Forgiveness starts here. Forgiveness is for here. Once you forgive here, and you do it a few times, you practice it a few times, now this becomes a subconscious program. First you forgive. Then the generosity is easy. Why? Because it flows freely. It's a natural thing. And you also have to learn to receive. Many people can give. Not everybody's a good receiver because they have money hang-ups. And you can tell because they're broke. But when somebody gives them something, they go, no, 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 wait, what's that for? Ah, resistance. Resistance. Instead, reward the giver. Say, wow, thank you. That makes them feel good. Now you have rewarded the giver. Now you have not dismissed the process. Now you have not discarded the good intention. When somebody gives you something, tell them how much you love it. Wow, thank you. I love this. Change your words just a little. I love this. I love that. I love that car. I love that house. I love my house. I love my dog. As you start to change this, your vibration is changing, your emotional vibration. We're not talking scientific resonance. We're talking emotional vibration. And you start shifting to the positive vibrations. And when you do that, your life starts changing. Why? Because like attracts like. And when you become loving, you attract loving people. When you become loving, you attract things related to love. Like attracts like. When you start being generous, you attract generous people. Check it out. You just have to be aware. If you want to be more aware, do more prayer, do more meditation. You have to do both. Prayer is speaking to God. Meditation is listening. Meditation is paying attention. And you have to pay. You have to pay. It's a transaction. You are giving God your time to listen when you meditate. I'm not talking about saying Indian phrases, and I'm not talking about doing anything in a particular language. I'm talking about being still. I'm talking about sitting down and becoming open. And God will start speaking to you. God only speaks when we're listening. And we can only listen when we stop and pay attention. The kingdom is in here. But you have to stop and go within, in here. Close your distractors, go within, and be still. And God will speak to you. But if you're too busy, if you're too, busy, going all over the place and hardly accomplishing anything, but you're busy, you're going here and there, you're doing all these things, but you're not listening, but you're not paying God that 10%. That's what tithing is, by the way. It has nothing to do with money. It's paying attention. It's giving God your 10%. I do this because everybody thinks God is up there. God is in here. But it's giving your 10%. So just by coincidence, it's Sunday. So happy Sunday. If you're on your way to church today, think about what I said. Now that you have knowledge, with knowledge comes responsibility. And now you are responsible to what you know. Thank you so much for joining us. Jay's over here saying, okay, see you tomorrow. And she's waving the hand. I got the hand emoji. See you tomorrow. So it's 8 o'clock. But yeah, you guys, don't fear. Okay? Jesus was right. You have nothing to fear. We'll see you tomorrow. Aloha and love from Hawaii. Sorry, I have nothing to sell you. Hope you're not disappointed. The website is hereforyoulifecoaching.com. But yeah, this is for you guys. This is my